some local color through the magic of AM radio.
Harkens me back to my youthful, careful days on the playgrounds of Forest Park School and my gifted days.
And what you're gifted, all right. What were you gifted at?
Well, I guess I had some issues.
Detention?
There. Yeah. When my dad told me I wouldn't plan on going to Harvard anytime real soon.
You're going to have to get in touch with me. We're gonna link all the volunteers via satellite cell phone so that we can put out the message immediately, because you remember the problem we had in January. We had to have Governor Walker come in with the National Guard. It was horrible.
Steve, listen to me. Bring your own microphone because you lost this one.
Okay, Captain Ron, you've been doing this so well for the last few weeks. So go ahead, make my day.
Oh, great one with the magic pen.
Oh, boy, he wants that microphone forever, doesn't he? Now, you got to visualize this. We put a statue of Pete on this. Put him on wearing like a hard hat and flannel shirt, tool belt, snow shovel.
You mean like from the Village People?
Yeah, yeah. A couple.
Now, wait a minute here.
Good morning, Kenosha. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the all-new Kenosha Today Weekly Report. Coming to you live from Studio A here at WIP AM 1050 on your radio dial, streaming across the frozen and snow-packed cornfields of the Midwest, reaching out to over 50,000 homes here in the Tri-County area. Being brought to you this morning by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, KC Family Options, and a host of other very fine local businesses. And rejoining us here in our Kenosha Today Trolley Barn, the big dog himself, little Stevie Casey, is out of sick bay and back in the house.
Yay.
Good morning, Kenosha. I'm not quite as big a Steve as I used to be.
Well, you know, we did understand that on Groundhog's Day you did see your shadow.
Oh, I saw. It wasn't nearly as big as it's been in the past.
And so to honor Groundhog's Day and the fact that you saw your shadow and to welcome you back.
Just shake your thing, let me see you move. Now spin around and feel the groove.
Let's try it.
6 more weeks of this.
Oh, my goodness, my goodness. Very good, very good.
I want to.
We all went into it like a trance, kind of danced to it, right? A little bit.
I want to thank Pat Giuliano for filling in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I was in the hospital. I lost about 25 pounds. Can you tell?
Well, I think we found it.
Yeah.
Hang out with us.
Turn around, you'll find it.
Yeah. You know, speaking of Giuliano, before I introduce the other guys, you know, his Fox Sport. We talked about this last week and covered some video. He was the new ball boy for the New England Patriots, and they caught him putting super glue in the footballs out there.
Well, that's the thing. The gauge had been locked up with super glue.
Yes, right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It goes a lot deeper than just deflating the footballs.
And so apparently Brady won the MVP. Is going to give the new car to Giuliano for doing that.
Well, apparently the
Damn conspiracy!
Did you miss this?
Yeah, I missed this. Yeah, the balls were delivered anonymously.
Yeah.
You know,
by the Bears guy.
Exactly.
Also joining us this morning, our video coordinator, Channel 14's Volunteer of the Year, Captain Ronnie Muttersbach, joins us here at Camp Happy Face.
Good morning, Captain Ron.
Good morning.
Did you miss me? Did you miss me? All righty.
I missed the recipes.
Oh, no, we didn't miss the
recipes. Shirley missed the recipes.
Also rejoining us this morning after spending a week in Boston, New York, helping out with their snow removal, engineering the Kenosha Today train wreck, Pistol Pete. Surgeon is back and in full command.
Yes.
Radio. God, that's going to break down a lot of walls.
You're not supposed to say God on the radio.
Why the hell not?
You're not supposed to say hell either.
This is going to be a barren source of amusement.
Good morning, everybody.
Groucho?
Sat on that one for 2 weeks.
Well, did you? Hey, can you say crap on the radio?
Yeah,
You just did, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I'm up in the hospital. I'm visiting him, and about 10:30, 11, this gorgeous-looking nurse comes in and says, Mr. Casey, you got to order your lunch. Sure. So I'm thinking, this looks like a pretty good deal. I was going to go across the hall and get a room myself.
Oh, God, I got to tell you.
So wait a minute. I go down to talk to the lady at the desk there, and she says, I'm sorry, the mental ward's 5 stories up. They wouldn't admit me. So.
I got to tell you, that was a long haul, but my hat's off to all the nursing staff and everybody on the second floor at St. Catherine's Hospital. Did a fabulous job. I was in pretty rough shape there for a couple weeks. So
this might be your doctor calling.
This could be my doctor.
That's doubtful.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Good morning. I had to be the first caller to wish you back, Steve.
Oh, Shirley, thank you so much.
Missed you.
I thank you so much for your thoughts and your prayers.
Oh, you're welcome.
And thanks for thinking of the rest of us, Shirley. We appreciate that. So,
Well, I'm just glad you're better.
Yeah, I'm back. I lost some weight. If you see me in the Piggly Wiggly tomorrow morning shopping, I lost about 25 pounds.
Good for you.
I lost my second and my third chin. I still have my fourth and fifth.
Wow.
Steve, when you were gone last week, we played this game with Shirley, and if she guessed the name that tune thing, if she guessed it correctly, I was to go out and change your bedpan. And if she missed it, now she missed it. I don't know if she showed up, but I certainly would have. Now we got. I
was in touch with Shirley.
We got a song for you, Shirley. You got to guess this.
Oh boy!
And then you won't have to get over to Casey's house this afternoon and clean up after him.
I couldn't. I hurt my sciatic.
All right, now Shirley. Okay,
focus,
now,
Shirley,
but you have to
focus.
listen now. Okay, don't talk over.
Yes.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. What was it, Shirley?
Oh really?
One more
Skunk in
time.
the road. Dead skunk in the road.
Dead skunk in the middle of the road? Well, you're pretty close.
Doesn't sound like that to me. What do you think it is,
Sunshine
Shirley?
of my life.
You are the sunshine of my life.
One more time, Shirley. Last chance.
No, it just sounds like sunshine of my life to me.
As opposed to the itsy bitsy spider?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got to get back into the hospital.
You better start taking. You've been drinking that muscatel, or what is that wine she
I'm on
drinks?
pain pills because I'm in a lot of pain. I hurt my back, my sciatic nerve, and
Well, am I going to see you at the grocery store in the morning?
no, I'm sorry, I can't get out. I
Oh,
just
boy.
can't. I'm on doing therapy now. I'm hoping that'll help, but I don't know.
Oh, my goodness.
That's me. I'm in therapy.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Different kind of therapy, yeah.
Thanks for your concern.
Different
Scott's
kind.
got some more steps to his
a
therapy.
different
Yeah.
kind of therapy. Yeah.
All right.
Well,
dear.
thanks for the call, Shirley, and thank you for your thoughts and prayers.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm just so glad you're better.
Yep. Sounds good. Thanks, Shirley.
I had a cold this week too, Shirley. How do you?
Okay.
Goodbye. That's getting me nowhere. So, for those who haven't heard, we are now here each and every Saturday morning from noon to 10. Or, how about that? 10 to noon.
Well, if you listen backwards for all the subliminal messages, it's noon to 10.
However, if you're, we are expanding, little Stevie, our horizons, being the watchdogs of the community. And
We are the watchdogs of the community.
the big dog and the little wiener dog. And we gave Juliana, he's the glue doggy. Gave him a title. Now, do you have your promo of the week? You've had about 3 weeks to prepare for this.
Well, of course,
okay.
I'd like to, with the whole deflate gate out there at the Super Bowl, people don't realize that those footballs were delivered to the locker room by anonymous package delivery.
Okay.
Of course, anonymous package delivery started in Kenosha County here, based on what Alderman Mathewson admitted to delivering in a package to Bob Johnson, Alderman Bob Johnson's employer, try to discredit him. So anonymous package delivery is now operating in Kenosha County and nationwide. They will deliver any package to anyone completely anonymously. Avoid embarrassing newspaper articles, irritating court appearances, and, of course, any risk of a restraining order. Why embarrass your friends, family, and neighbors? Hide your pettiness, hide your anger, and your insecurities, and your vindictiveness. Let anonymous package delivery do your dirty work. Why run the risk of ruining any chance for future political office? Why tarnish what little good you have left? By contacting anonymous package delivery, you can continue to operate in childish ways without ruining your reputation. That's anonymous package delivery, now located in Kenosha County and operating all over, including the Super Bowl. Let them be the jerk, so you don't have to be.
And whoever made that statement that little Stevie doesn't ever bring anything to the table. You
Well,
brought
and
your A game.
I've got a brand new sponsor coming on next week too. It's a little known company operating in the city industrial park. Glue Be Gone.
I know nothing. Nothing.
Well, if you got a call or a
I got to
comment,
tell you, I have missed these Saturday mornings.
coming up after the 11 o'clock break, we have the Kenosha City Top 10 list, so give us a call, 262-694-1050. More good news, boys and girls, tomorrow at noon, each and every Sunday. You can tune in here at WIP AM 1050, listen to the replay,
Oh, they must like us.
and then you can watch the replay of this finely tuned, professionally produced with duct tape and a prayer on Time Warner Channel 14 on Tuesdays at 5, Wednesdays at 6 p.m., and Sundays at 6 p.m.
Because we're on TV, I think you ought to dress up a little more. I mean, look at me today. I'm in a white shirt. I'm in a tie.
And I got my New York Yankee cap on, and I'm ready to go. I'm playing ball.
Oh, you're ready to go, all
I'm
right.
ready to go. Hey,
we wish you would.
Pinstripes look really
I'm the Yankee Clipper.
something on you.
Well, should we talk about the snow first? Snow removal. This big article, and I got to read a couple quotes. This was by Christopher Nauman. He's the new director of Downtown Inc.
Yes.
This is my first experience here with this type of snowfall. Now, the guy came from Green Bay, so I take this to be Green Bay never had any snow in his time when he was up there.
Yeah.
Apparently. And
He was there for summer months.
yeah, this was there for the summer months. But some of these things, I went down on 6th Avenue yesterday and measured the street from curb to curb is 40 feet. And the way they've plowed this, the snow sticks out anywhere from 3 to 4 feet, and then you got a...
Well, sure, because you got those goofy bump outs.
yeah, and then you've got the parked cars. There is no way that this trolley can physically get down there. However, the city has told the downtown merchants that they are going to remove the snow from 6th Avenue and up down to the trolley route. So I guess that's good news. So
Well, the city got themselves into some trouble a few years back when they went down and the snow was accumulating on the parkway down there, and they removed a lot of that for downtown businesses. Well, what about the businesses on 75th Street? What about the businesses on Roosevelt Road? What about the Uptown? What about some of these other business districts? Why did they, remove the snow specifically for downtown businesses? And I'm not, I'm very supportive of downtown. Nobody can question my support for that. But you got to be careful with that. I mean, we're all taxpayers. I operate a business. Why don't they come to my business and remove some of the snow on the parkway?
Don't forget the downtown merchants belong to the downtown bid. They pay a second tax.
But I don't think the funding for that's not coming out of the second tax.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, it's
the downtown bid is financed.
The downtown bid is financed by a second tax.
Yes,
but it comes out of the general fund when they're removing snow.
Oh, yes.
They're not.
Okay.
The city's not reimbursed out of that second fund.
My point is that if this trolley is to go through on 6th Avenue, there is no way that this thing can physically get down that 6th Avenue unless they remove the snow.
Yeah, you know what? I still, if you want to talk about the trolley, we can talk about that as well. I still don't understand the gist of why Kenosha's Common Sense even organized. There was no way they were going to stop this project because it had been voted on countless times. If they would have formed, and I've said this time and time again, had Common Sense Kenosha formed a year ago, in 2014,
right,
they would have stopped the trolley. There's no question in my mind.
No question in my mind. Now, speaking of snow plowing, our boy Ron there takes on City Hall. He's out plowing and snow blowing. And he gets stopped by a city worker. What's this, Steve? This looks like it's Whitecaps. There's, 2 inches of snow?
There's almost 2.5 inches of snow.
That the wind blew it out into the street, and he got a verbal
The guy in his pickup
warning
truck pulls up and goes, "Hey, blow it in your yard, not in the street." And
So-
it's like a foot wide by 3 foot long, maybe a half-inch thick.
Well, you remember 2 years ago or 3 years, when was the big snowstorm? I think that was 2011.
2011, I got it right.
2011, the blizzard. And I live on 22nd Avenue, in the corner, the side street of 73rd Street. And my parents at the time lived there. My mother still lives there. And she, I was, warned about the same thing, blowing snow into the street at some point. And my mother has a fence along the perimeter of her property. Mm-hmm. It's just a wooden fence. It's not for privacy or anything like that. And I couldn't get the snow up over the fence. So I'm blowing it onto the parkway, and it's falling onto 73rd Street. And I got stopped by a plow driver, and the same thing. You're supposed to blow it onto the property. You know what? And I
was just spinning the snowblower around because I'm in a 2 foot.
Right,
and I'm
right.
fighting it, and it just happened.
Boy, you guys' reign of terror. Your reign of terror is over in this community. Both
well, and I think this was the same guy who, may have.
Job.
Well, they're doing their job, but at some point when you've got this amount of snow, there's no place to put it, for heaven's sakes.
Now, going back to 2011, we had 21 inches
in 24 hours.
Yeah, and then we also had this last time anywhere between 12 and 14 inches. This is nothing compared to that 3/4 of an inch that they had last January out in the 17th district.
Oh yeah, I mean this was 12 inches of snow in all of the rest of the part of the city. I understand there were almost at the same snowstorm last January. I mean, I think it dumped 1.5 inches on the Whitecaps neighborhood.
Oh, it was socked.
And the alderman of the district again was complaining that his roads were impassable.
So we get Pete out there at the brass stop, rallies the troops, head on over to the 17th district.
Well, but he's in the news a lot this week.
Pete?
No, my favorite alderman.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, he's in the news again for ethics issues.
Bagdala filed a complaint Wednesday asking Kenosha District Attorney Robert Saff to investigate the city. And so here's I'm going to read this right out of the paper. Although the complaint was drafted on official city letterhead above his signature, Bagdala declined to share the Attorney General's out of Madison an email response saying he responded to him personally, didn't want to upset him. What am I missing here? Did he ask him on a date or what's the point?
I don't get the whole thing. And the beautiful part about this, Scott, and just to give all the listeners a little bit of background, you don't understand. This all started with the attendance and everything else back in 2008. I have been upfront about this all the time. I had the worst attendance record on the city council. It doesn't matter to me. I was elected 11 different times to go back down to City Hall. But in 2008 and 2009, there were 2 aldermen. And now this is my opinion. This isn't factual, but I believe that it was perpetuated by at the time, alderman of the 13th district. Now, this is just my opinion. Okay. Ray Meisner was the alderman at the time, and the 12th district alderman at the time, Alderman Bostrom, where they actually solicited a woman in my district to file a complaint under a little-known state statute to complain that I wasn't properly representing her because of my missed meetings. Now, she turned in the complaint. We didn't have an ethics committee, so the city turned it over to outside counsel. The outside counsel ruled, and that according to this little-known state statute, that if the complaint was frivolous, the individual who filed the complaint, which was a woman in my district, had to pay $1,000 to cover the outside counsel expense. As soon as she was notified of the $1,000, the complaint was dropped and everything went away.
Hey, I got
so now now this is the really funny thing is. That's exactly right. Now the beautiful part of it is they formed this ethics committee, and the same guys who were laying for me 6 years ago about attendance are now being accused of the very same thing.
I got to tell you, the last time I solicited a woman, it cost me only $100.
Yeah.
But that was probably for something else.
Well, I got to tell you something else. Okay. I wish somebody, and maybe your group can look into this again. Now, and for all you listeners at home and all your fellow aldermen,
for training purposes.
hit the record button now, because you'll want to quote Casey. Hit the record button now, because I know we're being recorded. What you may want to look at is travel expenses and per diem. For years, the Kenosha News would put in the paper absences and attendance record, and they'd follow up with an article on per diem and travel expenses. There's a handful of aldermen who travel every single year for the Water Commission. And the Water Commission conventions, believe me, are not in Detroit or Cleveland. They're in Los Angeles, San Diego, Houston,
Steve,
Florida.
I better write this down, because at 65, my memory's a little fuzzy, as we know.
Yeah,
I want to make sure I get this right. Going back to this article.
Well, you after all, you have a photogenic memory.
This article by Bill Guida says the board has not invited testimony from Bagdala, Ruffalo, or Court Wilson, and
because they weren't at the meeting.
Well, and they said they couldn't attend the meeting. I got to tell you what, I attended the meeting on Monday, and I gave my 3-4 pages of written testimony. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know where we are. And
well, don't you remember? Don't you remember right after this whole attendance thing, Alderman Meisner brought forward a resolution, and this was, I think, in 2009, 2010, a resolution to the city council mandating that if an alderman was going to be not present at a meeting, either a committee meeting or a city council meeting, had to have an excused absence. Had to call the mayor, had to call the chairman of the committee, and I know that that's not happening now.
It's in the ordinance.
Well, it's in the ordinance, but it's not being done. Kurt Wilson has said they've never called asked for an excused absence at all. Now, the beautiful thing of it, real quick,
yes,
the first council meeting that I couldn't attend, I was in the emergency room with my son with a broken foot, and I had the emergency room doctor write me a doctor's excuse. And then I came home, and my mother came over to see how my son's foot was. I said, Mom, can you write me an excuse for not being at the council meeting tonight. So at the very next council meeting, I presented to Ray Meisner an excuse from my doctor and an excuse from my mommy.
Oh, Pete, we missed
Boy,
you.
do I miss City Hall. Boy, do I miss City Hall.
Got a note from Epstein's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I better read a sponsor here.
You better.
First of all,
Of mine and his wife, and I think this may be probably only the second time I will have eaten at House of Gerhard's without having a cocktail.
oh, that's right. You're on. You're on.
I'm gonna keep this up a little bit. I haven't had smoked a cigar or had a cocktail in over a month. I'm gonna see how long I can go.
Boy, it's getting sick. Doesn't sound like
25 pounds.
Times are changing.
Times are
Wow.
changing. That's right. By the
My
way,
goal is to be able to see my shoes when I'm wearing them. So look at, I can see them.
yeah.
I got black shoes on.
you got red socks.
You know, I was
Crushed every morning.
It's enough
diagnosed with
underwear talk for the day.
diverticulitis and Dunlap disease. I had diverticulitis because my belly Dunlap over my belt.
Well, at least your 3 weeks in the hospital wasn't wasted. You learned something.
Well, if I keep losing weight, they're going to probably don't diagnose me with no acetol.
Probably what you paid for that 3 week stay.
Ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum.
Probably
Isn't
what
that funny?
Probably what you paid for that 3 week
Isn't that
stay
funny?
probably financed the whole new wing that they're putting on, the Casey wing.
3 weeks, almost 3 weeks in the hospital.
Give us a call.
2 weeks in ICU. It was not a pretty scene.
262-694-1050. By the way, when I went up to see you, did you know that your back of your robe was open?
Oh, wide open.
Wide open. Boy, that was not a pretty sight.
The nurse said, "Would you like to put on a bathrobe?" I said, "Hell no." I'd walk up and down the hall with that full moon showing. What the hell's the difference?
Yeah, that's right.
At that
You know
point,
what?
I had tubes coming out of everywhere.
Scott,
so it made
we have
difference.
this here for something else,
Is
but
this-
I got
is
to
this
play
for-
it. I have because I have to.
You're right, Pete. This is a lot better than what we were going to use it for.
I'm just
That's
saying.
it. We'll use it again.
No, we can't because that's what we're gonna think about.
Yes.
Visualize. Give us a call, 262-694-1050.
This was about 3-4 weeks ago, and they replaced the toilet. My wife didn't like the toilet they put in, so we called them back, and they had another model. It was a high boy. It was a high boy with an elongated seat, and one of those toilet seats that comes down slowly. But it wasn't. And I'm going to get this wrong, but the tank of the toilet doesn't have water in it. It has that it's like a balloon with air. So it's air. Yeah, that's right. It's like an air forced flush, but it's a little louder than most toilets, and it sounds like a frickin' jet engine taking off when you flush it. And my kids didn't realize we had replaced the toilet. My daughter goes in to use the bathroom on the first floor.
Almost takes her in.
Flushes this thing and screams because she doesn't know what the heck's going on. Fabulous toilet, but it's got a membrane in the tank, and it doesn't use water. It has water that comes around the rim, but air forces the flush. It's a fabulous toilet. And I got but it sounds like if you're ever over at my house, it sounds like a small jet engine taking off when you flush it. Oh no, nothing like that.
Do you have a big sign that says?
Well, I got to put a
leak at
sign.
your own risk.
Yeah, careful turbo flush.
Yeah, at your own
in
risk.
motion.
Step back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Step back away from the wall. Put your hands above your head. Let's take our break, Pete. We'll be back in 1 minute.
It's time for the weekend.
Tuned in. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the Kenosha Today Weekly Report, coming to you live from Studio A here at WLIP AM 1050 on your dial. Brought to you by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, Casey Family Options, and a host of many other very fine local businesses. Rejoining us this morning, coming off the SL, the sick list, the big dog himself, little Stevie Casey, is back in mid-season form.
Good morning again. You know what? And the worst part about being in the hospital, I couldn't watch any. You know, I watched both Packer games in the hospital, and I was drugged up on the morphine and all this jazz. I don't even remember the games.
For the Seattle game, that you had the better of it.
Yeah.
That's it. For
Saw the Cowboy game and the Seattle game from a hospital bed.
For
How
those that,
disappointing was that?
just tuned in and didn't realize, little Stevie was in the hospital for 3 weeks, and we caught going up and down the hallway. It was not a pleasant sight, and with the back of his robe flying open, here's what they were piping through the music of St. Catherine's. Bad moon rising.
You know what?
Big moon rising.
You know.
Wait. Oh, trouble. You are trouble.
I'm trouble. You know, why in the world can't they make a decent-sized robe or garment? You know, I'm a man of girth, for heaven's sakes. You know, and this thing comes within about 7 inches of each end. You know, wouldn't they think they'd have different size hospital gowns, for heaven's sakes?
Mike Bjorn wants his awning back, too, by the way. Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Hey, guys. This is Paul. How are you going?
Hey, Paul. Thanks
hey,
for calling.
Paulie. How are you, my friend?
Glad to have your back, Steve.
Well, you know, I got to take my hats off to you. We got dumped with a pretty heavy amount of snow last week, but you certainly came through with all the volunteers in that, and you certainly mobilized all the troops to get out to the 17th district. Congratulations.
Well, it was rough without your leadership.
Well, you know what? You know, you're only as how does that go? The whole is only the same as the sum of the parts? Or
no, you're only as good as your last bedpan.
Yeah.
So, hey, Paul, I got a serious question that was brought up to me. I got a guy that has a baseball that he found, and it's got a bunch of signatures on it. Now, where could he go to find out what of the value would be? Is it on the internet, or is there a place that would...
Well, what are the names on it?
Vita Blue's one of them.
So that was Oakland A's.
Yeah, way back in the 70s, I believe. But where would he go to find out what the value of that would be?
I can't plug another radio station, and plus the guy, the show is on hiatus during the winter months, comes back on March. But there was a show where this guy, he's out of Naperville, and you'd call in, it's on Sunday mornings, and you'd tell him what your item is, and he's a guy, a big shot from Huggins and Scott auction houses out there, and they'd talk. There's in Kenosha, there's not very many memorabilia shops anymore. There's a guy in Jim and Steve's in Waukegan. They're always good people.
Okay.
They might be able to give you a hint, but I'll tell you what. Once that other show starts again in March, remind me and I'll ask them for you.
Okay.
They could probably give an idea. And another serious note too. So far in about 1 week, I'm up to almost $600 in sponsorship for shaving my head for the St. Baldrick's and Charlie V Foundation.
Very good.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
When does St. Baldrick's take place? Is that on St. Patrick's Day?
It's
in March.
usually as close as it's in March. I'm having mine cut, shaved on March 12th, a couple days before St. Patrick's Day. And people just do it whenever they can. I'm what you call a virtual shavee. I'm not going to a big event to have it done. I'm just having it done here. But I'm up to $585 in sponsorships.
Who's shaving her?
A little lady that shaves my head every. She comes to the house. A friend of mine, Karina Wierzinski. A nice girl.
Okay.
Well, I actually, 3 weeks in the hospital, Paul. My wife actually brought in Frankie from the Flair. And he gave me a haircut in the hospital bed, and he even shaved me as well. So, big thank you to Frankie at the Flair, who does my wife's hair and is a fabulous business owner in the area as well. So,
very good.
Not too much to cut my hair or your hair.
Just take a chamois and kind of dust it off there, wipe it down.
Yeah, that's right.
Put a little
that's
dust
right.
on there like Paul Trombino does. Right?
Hey, did you hear I lost almost 25 pounds, Paul?
Very good. Congratulations.
Yeah, my goal is to be able to see my shoes when I'm wearing them.
I heard that. Well, when I heard that you were not doing so well, I go, come on, you got to pull through, Steve. You're the guy who's got to bury me someday.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
Well, he was going to bury me too, but actually it wasn't. We were talking about my funeral pre-planning. It was I was going to get cremated.
Yeah, you can't cremate Scott. It'll take a week for the fire to go out.
And the fumes, jeez.
I got that going for me.
Yeah. No, well, even if I'm not around Paul, I've got some fabulous staff, and hats off to all of them.
Patty was keeping me abreast of how you were doing, and
they kept
me, when to kick the prayers up and stuff.
Yeah, they kept things going. I think I was on more prayer lists than anybody else. And that's the key one. And anybody, not just myself, anybody in the hospital. Boy, visitors mean a whole hell of a lot. So you know of anybody in the hospital, please get up there. And the nursing staff up at St. Catherine's just did a a fabulous job, and they didn't keep out all of the unwanted visitors. I mean, Scott got in, so.
I told you, I wanted to get a room myself after I saw that gorgeous-looking nurse. But,
yeah. Well, believe me, at that point in my visit, I wasn't even thinking of anything but getting the hell out of there.
When I went up there, he's snoring like a son of a gun.
Yeah.
Nudge him, and he goes, "Come here, baby." that was the drugs kicking in.
Yeah. Hey, well, Paul.
Yep.
Paul, thank you for the phone call, and listen.
Okay.
Give me a call at the planning center, and I'll see if I can't get you a contribution for your your Baldric's
Well,
thing.
thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'll do that during the week.
All right, sounds good, Paul.
Okay. Bye now.
We're taking your calls 262-694-1050.
I had a crush on his cousin Sue.
Oh, she's probably not real proud of that.
I think that was junior high. Sue, yep. That was Sue.
That was her last name?
I've been told I shouldn't use last names on the radio, but that was Sue. I had a big crush on her, and I think we kissed once in junior high.
This is going way beyond where I was.
This was back in the 70s. That's when we had snowstorms. Is it just me, or does anybody else in the room here growing up in Kenosha, don't you remember snowstorms about 2-3 feet a couple times a week? We get one snowfall, 12 inches, and they go absolutely freaking nuts. And 2 inches in the Whitecaps, and Alderman Bogdala is ready to throw in the towel and bring in the Red Cross and everything else, for heaven's sakes. This is Wisconsin. Get used to the snow. That's what happens.
I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday.
Jeez, you know what? Even with the weight loss, the vein is popping out a little bit.
I can see that. Yeah, you haven't missed
Holy cow.
Got to get some pills
for
that.
I used to walk a mile each way uphill to school in 3.5 feet of snow.
And you were thankful.
Exactly. Don't you remember? And do you remember the boots? Do you remember the old-time boots?
Yeah.
Buckle boots.
The buckle boots, like the fireman boots. And to get your shoe in the boot, you'd put a bread bag over your shoe so it would slide into the boot. Remember that? Absolutely.
Oh.
Those are some good memories. We'd walk right down 73rd Street to 27th. We'd go past Ratty's Canteen.
And then you'd kiss all the girls
right up
on
26th Avenue.
Where did all the kissing
Columbus Elementary.
Where did all the kissing take place?
Where did Scott go? Is Scott still here?
Hey, I got to ask Pete something. Pete, last Saturday weekend, he was up in, this article says, Sheboygan, where you were announcing a
hockey game. High school hockey game, yes.
And then here's this article. A man is arrested for driving the Zamboni machine drunk. Pete?
I know nothing.
Hey, can the Zamboni machine, can those drive off of ice?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They take them on and off, drive them on and off the ice. Sure.
We can take them out to the 17th district and put it down a whole new thing of ice.
Yeah, smooth the ice out.
Smooth
the ice out. The divots are coming out of the road now. Sure.
One thing I would be interested to hear is, and this is a serious note, call in about reports of snow removal. How did it go over the weekend? I think it was an outstanding job. Now, of course, the snow started coming on Sunday. School, everybody pretty much was shut down on Monday. I know a lot of people who live on side streets. They said they had some trouble probably until the end of business on Monday.
Yeah.
But by Monday at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, most streets were clear, and I think the city did a fabulous job. I don't know, Scott, how do things go up in your neck of the woods?
Well, they come down, and it's a newer subdivision, and it's bigger, it's wider. And so they come down in the middle, and then they take a couple passes around and put it up against the curb. I have no problems. But, again, my alderman is Rocco Lamacchia.
Well, Rocco is a great alderman.
And then, the snow's probably just about all gone in our district, and we were out barbecuing in shorts.
Well, it's clear sidewalk and
by you?
Yeah, absolutely. And the grass is green and growing, and
if Ron hadn't been such a troublemaker and blew his snow into the street that good inch and a half and get yelled at, and chastised by a city worker.
Doesn't that get you going a little bit?
He's shirt rolls down the electric window.
He says,
yelling out the window.
Is it the place of a city employee like that to scold somebody? For
that is in all fairness, that's a city ordinance.
Yeah, but
that's a city ordinance.
Is it akin to an alderman checking IDs though? That's what I think in my mind. Not to go. I'm just not to bring it up. I'm just saying. Is it an appropriate place?
We don't need no stinking badges. We're the federales. We don't need no stinking badges.
I know. I went there. I know.
So the guy tells Ron to blow it on the thing, and Ron tells him to blow it in another place.
Yeah. Speaking of badges, I haven't done this for a number of weeks, but I'm very concerned about about something, and you're aware of what it is.
Actually, go ahead. We haven't done that.
We haven't done that in a while because I was told that it's an old joke, but I don't think it is.
Well, actually,
previous former alderman had this hour before we were here, and apparently there was some issues with finances. So again, Scott, I got to ask the question: did you write the check this week?
Actually, we didn't.
You did not. You did not write the check.
Yeah, we did. I did on Thursday.
Well, because I've been told that if you don't pay the bills, you're.
Well, let's yield to our colleague on
this
the
is
engineering
what
side.
this is what the good people at Digity said to him on his way.
Dippity-doo.
Shut up. Shut up? Why cite me? You don't think I'm the kind that would keep blabbing? Some people never know when to stop. When I'm told to shut up, I shut up.
I guess we did pay the bill.
Okay, I'm going to have to make a correction here. I just got a text from Sue, Paul's cousin.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
She said,
I'm serious. That's exactly what she said. Let me read you the text, and
she still has your number. Though,
I think she was correct. You never kissed me. I'm Paul Vagnoni's cousin. That was Beth Batassa that you kissed.
Oh yeah, don't mention her name either. This is why we have disclaimers, for God's sake.
You know, and I remember that. I was in 7th grade. I apologize to you, Sue. I don't think it was you. I think it was Beth. You kind of look the same though. You both had long Italian dark hair, and I think we were in a play together at Lincoln Junior High.
You played together?
We were in. I was very theatrical even back then.
Yeah. What was the big?
That's why I was.
Were in?
That was. Well, I was in countless performances. I was when I graduated. When I graduated, I was in Up the Down Staircase, Dark of the Moon, 10 Little Indians.
Speaking of the moon, here
Bye
we go.
Bye Birdie, Once Upon a Mattress. I played
Once
Paul
Upon a
Lynde's
Mattress.
Once Upon a Mattress.
Which part did you? What part did you play? The
Man of La Mancha. I performed in the. I was a theater major. I left. I graduated in 1979 from St. Joe's, and I went up to Stevens Point, and I was a theater major for 1 year, one semester, and I was put on double secret probation.
What's that involved? Double secret probation?
we had educational philosophical differences between myself and most of the other
all of the other
professors. So then I came back to Parkside. I was a theater major at Parkside for I think a year or two, and then I ended up at Gateway, and then I went to Carthage, and I went to Cardinal Stritch. I was all over the place. I was
student on scholarship.
I'd like to think that I had there were philosophical differences between me and many of the major universities in our area.
So you kissed your first girl in
I think it was 7th grade, and I think she was in 9th grade.
Ooh, a mature woman.
And you know where it was? It was in the
on the mattress, apparently.
I think we had a play party at the Spaghetti Station. Remember that? That was the old North Shore train station. And remember the caboose car? Yeah. We had our end of the year banquet in there. And I think she sat next to me in a booth, and I think we kissed. Not sure.
So you got some lip on the caboose.
You got some lip on the Holy cow! Is this a tough crowd?
How many Vicodin have you taken this morning?
Hey, I got to tell you, you guys would be proud of me. My doctor, I was on morphine for I think about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous stuff! Holy cow! But I went cold turkey with the morphine. Then he wanted to send me home with some pain medication. I even said no to that.
Yeah, I saw an interview with Brett Favre and how he was taking
Vicodin and Oxycontin.
Yeah, he was getting that. You're supposed to take one a day,
right?
And he admitted he was taking 15 a day.
15 or 16, yeah.
And he went a couple months and just had to flush the rest down, and he ended up to that rehab place out in California, and had to get off of that.
Did you know this is a little known story? Brett Favre, when he was a freshman in high school, had 14 feet of his colon removed. You've got your colon, I think, is 27 or 20 feet long. Okay. I had 15 inches of mine removed. He had 14 feet, almost half of his colon removed when he was a freshman in high school.
What was his problem? Well, I mean,
what am I, a doctor?
Well, you told the story. I mean, you talked about.
Apparently, he had some issue, either I don't know,
talking about
Crohn's disease or diverticulitis or something.
You must have killed some brain cells, because here you're relating to 7th grade, kissing this gal who was in 9th grade, exactly where you were kissed her, and now you can't remember this.
Do I need? We've gone 2 hours. We're going 2 hours. But do I need to remind you about the ground rules? Yeah, right. Coffee, which I have. No donuts, by the way. Still no frickin' donuts.
You can't have any.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You're probably right.
Yeah.
What was the plot of the mattress play you were in?
Once Upon a Mattress.
Yeah.
Don't you remember? The other name.
No, I don't.
The other name of it
sounds like a movie we rented one time.
The other
first person to laugh loses. That was the
the other name of it was Princess and the Pea.
Oh,
don't you remember where they stacked up the mattresses and the princess?
Why don't they just call it that?
If you're a real princess, you can still feel the pea underneath the bottom mattress, but the musical version of
it's like a hidden message.
It's called
there.
Princess and the Pea.
Now that you hear it as an adult, there's like, what did they really mean?
It was called Once Upon a Mattress.
It was like a porn movie to me.
I was in the chorus.
So were you the prince of the mattress?
Well, no, and in fact, my apprentice funeral director, who's studying to be a funeral director, she was the queen, Patty Potter, and she's Patty Fitchett now. She was the queen. We go all the way back to high school. Okay. You know, I was a theater major, and I finally.
I know people that.
They absolutely.
Did nothing but acting.
Don't vouch for
it. Well, that's why I did so well at City Hall, because I was a theater major. You know, half of these, I got to tell you, half these aldermen can't string together 2 or 3 sentences at a time.
Excuses. They can't come up with an original excuse. On some of these that I've read in a paper, on a scale of 1 to 10, like in the Bigdala thing. He couldn't make this.
No, who is that? Who is that?
In this
article. Who's that? Who's that?
He's the head of the 17th.
Oh, Alderman
Bogdal, yes. Oh, okay. He said he couldn't attend. He couldn't even come up with an original excuse. And then this thing with the email.
What was his excuse? You didn't say it. You didn't read it.
He said he had to work.
Well, maybe he did have to work.
But a scale of 1 to 10, that's not even creative.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this right now, and this is, and I used to get phone calls from John Anaramian, and I'm not particularly proud of it, but I certainly don't shy away from it. Back in the 90s, when the Chicago Bulls played in the playoffs, and how many championships? 5 championships they won with Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman and that. I never, and you can ask anybody who served with me, I loved watching Jordan play basketball. I never missed a single Bulls playoff game. And John Anaramian, at the time at the mayor, he was the mayor at the time, would call me up and say, "Hi, Alderman Casey, I don't imagine you're joining us for the council meeting tonight." And that was because the Bulls were playing. I said, "Nope, Your Honor, I'll be at home sitting on my couch with my wife and kids watching the Bulls game." So I missed every single council meeting when the Bulls were playing. That's just the way it was.
Okay,
it's priorities.
But
you know what? I only lasted. Did I tell you I was in office for 22 years?
Somebody mentioned it in passing. Forward, sideward, backwards. Hey, suppose all 17 aldermen decided to do that.
They could.
Oh, but how does the city get anything done?
Well, the city comes to a screeching halt. Now, the mayor can order aldermen to attend meetings.
It's in an ordinance.
It's in the ordinance. The mayor can, if there's, let's say, for instance, the mayor puts something on the agenda that the council, who, by the way, this council would never do this, act all together as a team, okay, and do something where most of them don't show up to prohibit a quorum. That means that item can't be voted on. Yeah. To have a quorum, you have to have 12 present at the council meetings. Mm-hmm. Let's say only 9 showed up. The mayor could order the police department to go and issue, it's the same as issuing a warrant. They could go and get you from your house and bring you down to City Hall in handcuffs to make sure that there's a quorum. Now, you don't have to vote on the issue, but you have to. They can bring you forcibly to the meetings.
So they were going to do that with Act 10, with the state senators who went to Illinois.
Well, that's why they went to Illinois.
Exactly. Yeah. They were going to.
So they went to Illinois so that they lines of jurisdiction obviously was a state line.
So you were pretty much a troublemaker back then too.
Oh yeah, I was a big troublemaker. Yeah, but you know what? 20. Can I say just one thing? 22 years.
Anyway,
is there any songs with 22 in the title? We can.
I'm not sure.
Some of the things we were talking about is snow removal. If you had a comment on that, 262-694-1050. And
what the hell are we going to do for a second hour?
Oh, we got time. Hey, Groundhog's Day was Monday. Did you see your shadow?
I can't see my shoes. How can I see my shadow?
Well, we had some things here on what the groundhog really saw here in Kenosha. Did you see our Kenosha Today logo up on Facebook? It's a picture of a looks like a groundhog taking a nap on 52nd Street.
No, it's taking the eternal nap.
The eternal nap, on 52nd Street.
Do we have groundhogs in Wisconsin?
Yeah, they're woodchucks.
This guy.
Yeah, woodchucks. Oh, they're called woodchucks?
Yeah.
Oh no,
that's the other name for groundhog.
Isn't the original groundhog out in Puxatawny?
Puxatawny Phil, yeah.
Yeah.
But this here, Jimmy the Groundhog in Sun Prairie, he bit the mayor on the ear.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, boy.
He's running for alderman, I understand, next election.
They had a whole different thing.
On the basis that he'll attend all the meetings.
About all of the different things about hibernating, and there's like aldermen hibernating from license and permit committee. That's what the groundhogs saw here in Kenosha.
I would hope. 2016 is the spring elections are a year away, and I would hope that anybody out there is going to make an issue of some of this attendance stuff. And I'd like to see somebody do some research and look into the amount of money that these guys spend traveling. Now, this is what the Kenosha News used to do. Mm-hmm. 10 years ago or so, they would request all of the per diem expenditures through city clerk's office. But the one thing they would never request is through the water utility. The water utility is a separate body, and they would never request those expenses. So you never saw who traveled year in and year out.
This is somebody that probably was recording this and wants to make a comment. Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today.
Morning, this is Wally down in Tobin.
Okay, Wally, what's going on in Tobin?
Tobin? Where the heck is Tobin, Wally?
It's Illinois, isn't it?
Hey. No.
Is that out on off of Highway 50, right?
No, it's down off of... It's right alongside the old North Shore track.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, south of here. That's right. Okay, yep. I know exactly
Wally,
where it is.
How can we enlighten your day?
Well, there's been groundhogs here for, I know, over 40 years, because that's when the DNR brought them here.
Really?
To get rid of the old ground squirrels.
Oh.
Those little red guys that used to dig their burrows in the ground, but they were just like a squirrel.
Well, in other words, like little chipmunks?
There's no big chipmunks.
Oh,
the same size as what you would call a squirrel.
Okay.
How come we don't make a big thing out of a groundhog seeing his shadow or not seeing his shadow?
I don't want to get my ear bit.
yeah. Seeing that, it was kind of like Scott Walker when I saw this guy get his ear bit. It's kind of like what Walker did.
I'd have liked to see his stuff get bit too.
He got his ass bitten, and he did the same thing to Kenosha in the casino. He's done the same.
No, that's what I say. Scott Walker should have got his stuff bit too.
Yeah, right.
Now, a groundhog.
Disclaimer.
What's another name for a groundhog? Is that a woodchuck or no? Not a woodchuck. Is it a?
Yes. Essentially, it's the same animal.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
In my yes, it is.
Okay. Well, then I know what a woodchuck is. Do you know how much a woodchuck chucks when a woodchuck? How does that?
Yeah,
go?
easy around the air. That's so slip up so easy.
Just about as much as they would diverticulitis can do.
Hey, Wally, you actually reside then in Pleasant Prairie, correct?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Now I understand you had a little fire issue in your new fire department.
Well, that's what the fire department's for.
At least they didn't have to go very far to put the dumb thing out.
When you got to make a job, you got to make a job.
Well, at least the things are under control out there. It's probably why they don't have Groundhog's Day out in Pleasant Prairie.
Is that new building almost done? I haven't been out that way.
No, they had a
for quite
fire.
some time. Well, they had a fire, but
It's a good 3/4 done.
yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, well done.
3/4.
Yeah, well done. You feel a lot safer now?
Let me ask.
Do you feel a lot safer now with the new fire station?
Theoretically, I've always felt safe with the fire department in Pleasant Prairie.
Yeah, they are good guys.
Oh yeah, they're all good
And
guys.
theoretically, I've always felt very safe with the police department in Pleasant Prairie.
Yep.
Oh, you're on a roll. Anybody else?
Well, I can come up with one or two, but
in theory,
I better don't repeat them.
Well, we have a disclaimer. We have we're disclaimer free. We have every morning. So
no, because Pleasant Prairie Police Department is protected terrorists also.
Oh yes, I know. So when's the last time we had a bomb lobbed in here in Pleasant Prairie?
Well, I know some who'd like to lob a bomb into the radio station.
Well, there's.
Go ahead.
They have Pleasant Prairie residents that have been Pleasant Prairie Police Department people, officers, and Sheriff's Department officer that puts money in a terrorist's pocket every day.
Okay, we got to take a break, Wally.
All righty, Wally. Thanks for the call. Good
morning, Kenosha. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the all-new Kenosha Today Weekly Report. Coming to you live from Studio A here at WIP AM 1050 on your radio dial. Being brought to you by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, Casey Family Options, and a host of many other very fine local businesses. In our Kenosha State Trolley Barn this morning, the big dog Stevie Casey is back in the house.
Good morning, Mr. Scott.
And
now, I'm not going to be here for the whole second hour. I need to leave about 30 minutes early.
There is a God.
You don't mind doing it? Can you handle it without me?
Yeah, well, we'll struggle through this. Along with Captain Ronnie Muttersbuck and the ever-alert Pistol Pete Sargent, we've been talking about a number of topics today. One is the snow removal. And so, the news did a bunch of articles on snow removal, but this was written in our home office on the deck of the Boathouse Pub and Eatery. This morning's top 10 category, the top 10 signs we've had too much snow here in Kenosha. Number 10, no longer can see the roadkill stains on the front of the trolley. Number 9, schools were canceled when Frosty the Snowman's ball bearings froze up. Number 8, tourists think that they have discovered Sarah Palin's Alaska. Number 7, during the storm, not one woman wanted to get stranded at Barter Manor. That's an everyday occurrence. That's not during the snow. Number 6, thanks to Kenosha today's snow plowing, people in the 17th district are outside barbecuing in shorts and t-shirts. Thank God for us.
Thank goodness for the volunteers.
Yes. Number 5, City Council and the Summers Town Board seen checking in the Heritage House with a half-deflated weather balloon. Number 4, WLIP Storm Team forecaster Pete Sargent lost his Doppler.
And my Toppler, too.
Well, Pete, you are our storm tracker, aren't you?
Yeah. Something like that.
You're our storm tracker.
I track the tracking.
Number 3, new trolley extension being run by dog sleds and an Eskimo named Maurice. Number 2, extreme whiteout conditions on resignations from Downtown Inc. And the number 1 sign, we've had too much snow here in Kenosha. Governor Scott Walker still considered the biggest snow job of the year. How about it?
You know, I got to tell you, seriously, back to the snowfall thing. Yeah. Don't you remember growing up? There was 2-3 feet of snow like Steve, twice a week.
I have never grown up.
Well, that's true.
What do you think I'm doing here?
Hell, we used to have to walk, and now they're canceling school. You know, you know how many days? I think they've canceled 4 days because of cold.
Yes.
1 day because of snow. They'll be going to school till the 4th of July.
Well, actually,
two of them were built in.
Well, no, they get the 2 built in. What they did is they got rid of all the rest of the in-service days. So where the teachers stay long and do a bunch of meetings instead of teaching the kids, they got rid of those. So
okay, so they don't have to go to school.
No, but this was the last one. So if they get another snow day, now they'll have to start adding on.
Well, what did I announce last fall about the snowfall and about the cold? This is the first year my acorns have ever disappointed me.
That's right. You were talking.
I was talking about the heavy snowfall. It's going to be the worst winter
we've ever had.
You're
trying to see your acorns too, right? Yeah. That's part of the goal.
Yeah.
But the difference is we've got 18,000 students approximately in the Kenosha district, of which I think probably 80 to 90% are bused versus back in the day.
Yeah. When did the whole busing thing start?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, don't you remember where you used to just walk to the closest school in your neighborhood?
Okay, here's a good example. Where I live in my subdivision, those kids go to Summers. That's 5 miles away. There's no way that they can walk.
Hillcrest is right by your house.
Well, Hillcrest is
once they get arrested, they can go there.
They can go to Hillcrest.
Oh, is Hillcrest a specialty school?
Yes.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. Okay.
I thought you were a serious journalist.
I am a serious journalist. Investigative reporting.
Mainstream media.
Me and Brian Williams.
Yeah. Oh, is he in trouble?
We were taking fire in a helicopter. Yeah. We almost didn't make it back. I had to run for cover. No, I'm sorry. I'm just making it up.
Turns out he was in front of the candy machine trying to figure out Cheetos or Doritos.
You see, that's the thing is
I haven't had a Cheeto for over a month.
When we're here in the radio station, people actually accuse me and you, Pete's name is mentioned, of making stuff up.
Making stuff up?
We're serious.
You can't make stuff like this up. Are you kidding me? One alderman allegedly putting glue in another alderman's key lock. You can't make that stuff up.
And a guy having a badge, his own badge,
walking around carting people at the boathouse or wherever he was, and then getting pulled over by a state trooper and flashing an aldermanic badge. Are you kidding me? You can't make that up.
Come on, you know how many Rice Krispie boxes he had to dig through to get that badge?
Well, I understand. Saturday Night Live, in honor of their 40th anniversary, they're in town researching some of the antics of City Hall, and they're going to be doing City Hall sketches from here on out. Can you imagine that? Sir, you were going a little bit over the speed limit. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get my driver's license. Is this a badge in my wallet? I'm sorry. Sir, what is that badge for? Well, I'm a
former alderman.
Former federally elected
federally elected alderman.
And, this helps me get into political functions and,
through security.
So, and through security. And you can't make stuff like that up. Who the hell makes stuff like that up?
Not us.
Well, I just want to tell you that I'm a former federally elected alderman. What, are you goofy? Hello? Is this thing on? Are you goofy?
Well, they took off his filter along with this colon, didn't they?
Yeah. You haven't been here since when.
I haven't been here.
No, for 3 weeks. And the first time I walked in after January, Pete says, "Well, you made the big time radio." I goes, "Why?" He says, "We got to play this disclaimer."
Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
That was the other question I was going to ask you. When the hell did we start playing a disclaimer?
Well, there were some issues between me and you, apparently.
Well, this is paid broadcasting. I can say whatever the hell I want.
Well, management at what's the name of this place?
WLIP.
Yeah.
Dippity Media.
They want nothing to do with us.
But they give us 2 hours, and now they play the replays on Sunday.
I understand.
It's just plausible deniability.
They don't want us. They don't want to be aligned with you and I.
It's just that your opinions are yours, Steve. Yeah. That's all.
Well, nobody wants to be aligned with me, for heaven's sakes. I've been a troublemaker my whole life.
I can see that.
The parade. I mean, let's talk about the parade a little more.
What about the parade?
Well, I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I still may not be drinking up until March 17th, and I never drank a lot. You understand? But I would enjoy a cocktail.
Never drawn any less either. Hey, I want to read this sponsor.
It's been over a month. When was the last time you went alcohol-free for a month?
Pete?
Well, he was 13.
I had my tonsils out.
Yeah, your tonsils out when you were 13.
The last time I went a month without drinking.
And not even a cigar. I've been known to smoke a nice cigar with friends, but I haven't even had a cigar.
Well, see, I don't have any friends.
What would it be? Captain Ryan, you said before the show, it would be very difficult for you to give up coffee.
Coffee, yeah. Anything else, but coffee, I'd go nuts.
Well, and for, I think, about 2.5 weeks of the 3-week stay, I was on a ice chips and they were well, you saw. I mean, I had 6 different IVs into my neck, and they were feeding me intravenously because I couldn't digest anything. But I missed my morning coffee. What I like to do in the morning is I like to get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee. I'm watching CNN on the kitchen counter
Flush
TV.
The toilet a couple
I got the computer. I got the computer on. I'm reading America Online. I got my newspaper there. I'm a news junkie. I always have been. And then I go into the downstairs bathroom, I flush the toilet, wake up the whole house.
Yeah. For those that missed it, we recorded what was being played out at St. Catherine's when Steve was taking his walk up and down in his gown with the back just flying open.
Now I got to tell you, I promised today that I would mention somebody very special and near and dear to my heart. And I'm serious about this.
Okay.
My surgeon was Dr. Gendali, greatest guy in the world. Greatest guy in the world. We got to know him real well through my wife had a number of different surgeries through her breast cancer episode, and I would trust that man with my life. He did a fabulous job.
Well, you did trust him with your life.
I absolutely did. Yeah, absolutely did. And the anesthesiologist. And I'll be honest with you, our favorite anesthesiologist, and I'm going to use his name because he's in my prayers every day, Dr. Paul Spotswood.
There you go.
He was my wife when she went through the breast cancer. My wife was a very slow waker-upper. So she'd have her port, when she had her chemotherapy port put in, that's a 20-minute procedure. Gendali would do it, and it would take her 9 hours to wake up after anesthesia, after being put out. And then she'd be sick. She'd be sick for another day, throwing up and things like that. Dr. Spots would put her out, and she'd wake right up, be able to get out of bed, walk around. So God bless Paul Spotswood and all the doctors, really. But Dr. Gendali, you get yourself a good doctor, man. You got to swear by him, really.
A couple years ago when I had my hernia surgery, I came out of the, it was basically an outpatient, but I came out of the anesthetic. And the first thing I did, because it was a hernia, I pulled the sheet up, and the lady says, "Yes, you have everything you came in here with." And that was very important to me.
Yeah. When was when was that?
08.
08.
Yeah, I had a hernia.
Okay.
And so, at any rate, I want to read a sponsor here. I don't have a lot of problems.
You know what?
You guys give up eating and smoking, and I've given up dating, and it's probably not by my choice.
Are you single again? Or still?
Still.
Are you still single?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't aware that. That happened since I was in the hospital.
Well, no, that's a That's a different issue.
Should we talk? Should we talk some more about?
I think you have to define terms here of what's dating and what's stuff.
You want to read Casey Family Options? Oops, see.
Other big news, big news, and I did this a year ago. I don't know. We were on the air a year ago.
Yeah.
But $100 worth of Girl Scout cookies. They'll be here at the end of February. About $50 for my niece Sophie and $50 from my niece Audrey. So stop and have a Girl Scout cookie.
Let's take a call. We'll come back to that. Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today.
Good morning, man.
When? That's us. Who are we talking to?
Bruce.
Bruce, what's up, Bruce?
Well, I'm a faithful listener to AM 1050 WIP, but I just happened to go downtown here within the last hour.
Yeah.
And I would rate the overall city snow removal as good, but how's my mom supposed to climb over those hills to get into one of them stores?
Yeah,
exactly.
You're right. You're right. Well, but the thing is, usually with businesses, that's a cost of doing business. It's no different than my making sure my front door at the planning center is cleared out. People, you have to provide access, and I'm not sure whether that's the city's role to do that.
Where are they supposed to put it? You're right. The merchant's supposed to.
Really, that's the deal. Of course, I see some cities now are charging businesses to dump snow, but that'll be next. But Steve, I understand a certain bit of responsibility, but come on. I remember when I was a kid, they had a machine that would take that stuff right off. 2 hours, close the street.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Come in and suck that stuff out.
Right.
Now, 30 years later, they don't have that technology or the ability to...
Well, sure, they probably do, but I think it becomes an issue of what about the businesses along Roosevelt Road and the Uptown and things like that?
Go ahead. What do you think we ought to do?
Well, of those businesses, it's a whole different situation because of the size of the sidewalk and curbs and approaches.
Yeah.
Listen, we're talking very confined area downstairs. If I may, I have no money in the game, but if you look at Sassy B, he shoveled like a crazy man. But if you look at the next 6 places, you got to climb a mountain to get to any place. And I mean, you tell me a business like Jockey can't clean it up a little bit better than that?
Well, and that's a good point. That's a good point. Jockey certainly has the wherewithal to be able to maintain their sidewalks in front of their outlet store.
Well, I'm hoping that they can get this resolved because when that trolley, as you saw, if you were just down there.
Well, ironically, if I may, excuse me, because I'm on limited time.
Okay.
As I was down there, parked in front of S.J. Crystals, across the street was a UPS truck with his flashers on.
Right in the middle of the road, right?
Right in the middle of the road, making a delivery. Now, what if the trolley comes through then?
What if an emergency vehicle? An ambulance has to get through.
Heaven forbid on that, but... Thanks. I just wanted to quick throw that in.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Well, that's a good point. A couple of years ago, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, they did go down and remove a lot of that parkway snow, and they came under criticism. Why are you doing this for downtown businesses? What about the rest? And that's a legitimate point. But at some point, you have to like Paul Campagna at Sassy Bees. He removed all the snow in front of his store, in front of his restaurant, and that was something that he took upon himself. And I don't know. It's a tough nut to crack. You promote downtown businesses, but at some point there has to be some individual responsibility to be able to allow people to get to your establishment.
Well, it's a two-way street, though, Steve. They've got they're responsible for shoveling their walk, but they physically don't have a place to put the snow now.
Right.
So I mean, that's the problem.
If I was a downtown business, depending on the situation I was in financially, I would probably pay somebody to come and remove all that snow from the parkway. Now, that can be an expense. There's no question about that. But we pay to have the funeral home parking lot plowed and the planning center and whatnot.
Well, good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Hey, it's Corky. I concur with the gentleman that just called. I have a few comments to tell your alderman down there. I used to live in Kenosha. I grew up in Kenosha.
All right.
And Antioch, Illinois, you can walk down there right now with bare feet. It's that clean. Very simply done with 4 pieces of little equipment, blocking the streets in one area at a time and cleaning it all out. Yeah, I was down there. I made a phone call to the bank who was supposed to clean. I forget the name of the store. It's on the corner. Snow still hadn't been removed.
Yeah.
What a bunch of
easy. You're right. So we're trying to get to it. We want to come back next week, So, all right.
Well, I mean, you're 5 feet out into the road, the park.
Where'd you grow up in Kenosha? South side or north side?
Forest Park.
Hey, me
there
too.
You go. There you go.
All right.
You know?
I got it. I appreciate your comments.
Yep.
I got to take another call. Thank you. Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Hey, good morning. It's Lou Regani. Scott, thanks for calling my program last week.
Yeah, you know
this
what?
week.
Did you get an answer?
Yeah, what's the question?
Well, sharp as a tack. I wanted to know what was on the old AMC Chrysler land before they built the automotive deal. And I know there was a ballpark on the northwest corner on 30th and 52nd. And the discussion was to what Simmons Field. Now, Simmons Field, originally when it was built in the early 20s, did not sit where it is now. That faced southwest. And there was two teams. One was the Twin Sixes, and the other one was I don't know. It was one of the Simmons, I believe it was. Well,
it's
they had this
Simcoe, SIMCO.
Okay,
Yeah.
they had this big rivalry, and one of the things got burned down in the middle of the night.
I never heard of that, and if there must be something around it. But now I'm getting more archives coming in on the Remembering Kenosha program. I can look that up for you and call back.
Hey.
Remind me, and we'll do a program together on that.
Okay.
Not a program, but a chapter, shall we say?
A chapter.
Hey, Lou, you were talking the other day. I happened to be listening. I actually listened to your show in the afternoon. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
You're right.
Yes, serves me right. and listen, in all fairness, you and I both know that for 25 years now, we haven't always agreed politically, but I still have a lot of respect for you. You know that, Lou. So.
Yeah, well, I'll change all that.
Yeah. You were talking about the Roosevelt. You were talking about the Roosevelt Hotel on 60th and 30th Avenue. It would have been the...
Well, you do listen, don't you?
Absolutely. But I Googled it. I was sitting at the planning center listening to you, and I Googled it. I couldn't come up with anything. Did you find out? Did you come up with anything? That was on the corner
it was
of
a boarding house. It was built as a boarding house for the Jeffrey plant. And then later on, they went to sell it as a so-called hotel. I don't know why they call it Roosevelt. There's a reason. I haven't figured it out, but there's a Roosevelt body shop, not even close to Roosevelt.
No, that's on
Road.
63rd. That's right.
And then the Roosevelt Hotel, which is even farther. And there was a reason why they named these businesses Roosevelt. I can't find why. Anyway, it became the Roosevelt Hotel, nothing more than a flop house, just a place to
What,
crash
did they have
at
a
night.
restaurant or a tavern in there?
They had a bar, and it was called Big Daddy's Blue Flame, I guess.
Big Daddy's Blue Flame.
Yeah, I can only guess what kind of place that was.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
That's a great place to hang out, sure.
Well, Lou, check out, because it was a serious question somebody asked me, and we were talking about that vacant land. I had no idea what was in there. The ballpark didn't occupy all that much in that corner, but was it just field, or when was the first factory put in the 1900s or 20s or whatever? So you got your homework.
Yeah, they went in there. They went in there in 1896. They put the factory up.
Oh.
1902, it became an auto plant.
Oh, okay.
1917, it turned to Nash. 1938, Nash Kelvinator. 1954, American Motors.
Gee, Lou, you know lots of stuff.
Well, so do you. I mean, look at you. When I get to be as smart as you. Hey, I was going to say this. Can we get serious for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
What's all this stuff about, like, deliveries on Main Street? These people call in and they act like the streetcar is going to park there all day. It's a transit vehicle.
Well, here's what has
don't they
happened.
get about transit? It doesn't stay there. It moves. It picks people up. It stops for 10 seconds. It's gone.
But what some of the what could hold the trolley up is some of the bars they have to deliver the beer trucks are right in front on 6th Avenue, and it takes them 15, 20 minutes.
Now let me Lou.
Wait, let him go.
Yeah, Lou.
Go ahead, Lou. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
A question?
Yeah, a question.
Yeah,
Now
question.
you're opposed to the streetcar, right?
Oh no, I'm opposed to people opposed to progress in Kenosha, like curmudgeon-free Kenosha.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, I got one
by
quick.
the way,
Go ahead.
No, but they got alleys behind all these businesses.
They can't
That's
get
where
those
the
big
deliveries
trucks
are
in
supposed
there.
to be made.
Yeah, but they can't get those big trucks in there down those alleys.
They always did. I mean, those
Not these
buildings
big
are
ones, no.
120 years old.
Well, one crisis at a time. We'll figure that out. How's that?
Yeah. Okay, you guys.
We'll work
try
together.
to enjoy the weekend.
All right, you too. Thanks for your call.
Make
I'll
a
talk to you
serious
next week.
attempt.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, before I got to read two sponsors. KRS, Kenosha's cutest couple.
Do you think
Are
you
we
and
in?
I will be it?
We've got to be a shoe-in, don't you think?
I think it. I think it ought to be a couple of aldermen.
Oh, it is. We're not up against elected officials. We're just the common guys here.
No, we are serious journalists.
A serious journalist, part of mainstream media. We got to be involved in here.
Now, I have to apologize. I'm probably going to scoot out of here in the next 5 or 10 minutes. Of course, as you can see, I'm wearing a white shirt and a tie. I've got work obligations today, so I'm going to go and do what I need to do at some point. Can you handle 30 minutes without me?
I'll do my doggonest. Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today.
Yeah, Dale from Kenosha.
Yeah, Dale.
Yeah, those alleys downtown are set up for horse and buggies, you know.
That's what I thought. They're too small.
No, I know you, Dale. You used to deliver.
You're not going to get a truck down there. The catwalks are too low. It's just not feasible for a truck to get down there. But anyway, the reason I'm calling is I have to withdraw myself from further cleanup at the 17th.
Why?
I'll be going in for knee surgery, so...
Oh, come on, stick it out.
I'm not going to get fined for this, am I?
Well, listen, do you have are you calling in for your excused absence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're counting on you, Dave.
Now, when do you go in for, is it knee replacement or?
No. They're going to replace the cartilage that isn't in there.
Well, you got to gut it out and take this for the team. Come on, don't be letting us down now. We're in the middle of winter.
I don't know what Paul's going to do without you, Dale.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go out and I'll buy a riding lawnmower with a snowblower attachment on it. That'll help.
All right, Dale. I got to run.
Hey, good luck. Good luck with the surgery. Call in if you get a chance.
Okay. Bye.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Gentlemen.
Hello.
It's Anthony in Waukegan today. How are you?
Oh, Anthony.
How are the roads down in Waukegan?
We talking about the quality of snow removal or the lack of potholes?
Well, can we make you feel at home, Anthony? Can we? Before we get to this, we don't want you to feel all warm and fuzzy. Pete.
Because you know I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that bass, no trouble.
Okay, now we got
that. I'm lying about these.
No, I got that out of my
system. Lack of potholes, by the way, but they did a pretty good job on the cleanup. You know, I'm okay with it. Hey, the reason I'm calling is if you and Steve you and the good doctor are going to be Kenosha's cutest couple.
Yeah.
I think me and Kurt Wicklund should be submitted for Kenosha's.
Oh my God!
Jeez.
You can't.
You and Kurt Wicklund. Holy cow!
You gonna wear matching tuxes?
Yeah. Is he gonna wear that hot hot pink three-piece suit that he wore on Groundhog's Day?
You could be. What are you going to be? Salt and pepper?
So we're gonna pull the race card out, huh, man?
That's why we put the disclaimer.
Are you kidding me? Come on, Anthony. You know better than that. Listen, the one thing you do have a lot in common with Kurt is you both got that Dunlap disease.
Yeah.
We're hefty men, but that's because we do a lot of hefty, heavy thinking.
Well, you guys submit yourselves as Kenosha's cutest couple, and then Steve and I, and we'll let the voters decide.
Anthony, I told you, I've lost a significant amount of weight. Did you know that?
Actually, yes, I did. I've been hearing anecdotal evidence of such.
Yeah, I can actually see my the tips of my shoes.
All right.
What color are they today?
They're black.
He's got red socks and green.
Chestnuts are next, Anthony.
I've got to go to work this afternoon.
All right.
So
we're gonna see. We're going to see who wins
We're going to see Dr. Steve's double cheeseburger with all the extra.
Oh, man, I got to tell you. I think if I took one bite of heaven on a bun, I think I'd end up back in the hospittal. Still not up to it. Kind of on a bland diet.
Good luck on the contest, and we should put a wager down. If you guys beat us.
Well, I'm sure Kurt and I would get way more votes than you and Steve.
Okay, the line's in the sand. The line's been drawn.
I think.
I got to tell you, you two would make a great couple.
I think some liquid libations at the boathouse should be on the line.
Oh, well, you know what? If I start drinking again, well, I'll certainly take you up on that.
Why don't we just go right to that and forget the contest?
Yeah. Let's do the contest after the libations. Yeah.
Oh, our lines are all lit up, Anthony. I got to go. Let's take a call.
Because I'm all about that bass,
Got to go out with this theme.
Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Good morning, gentlemen. You look for a couple nominations for Kenosha's cutest couple.
That's us.
I got one.
What?
Dan and Pete.
Oh. Dan and Pete are.
The Rip-Off Brothers.
No, that's it. Why?
I don't know about that, George.
No, it's going to be Steve and I all the way to the end.
Yeah.
We're gonna take on Wickland and.
Well, that's my second nomination.
Hey,
let's go get neck and neck between Steven Scott and Dan and Pete.
Yeah, no, those guys aren't even in the running. They're just they're just in training.
There's no room for us in the picture.
Hey, I got to run. I got to take a call and then I got to take a break. Can we do this real fast?
All right, take care.
Thank you, George.
All right, good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Yeah, hi, this is Donnie from Kenosha.
Okay.
Just had a comment on the Roosevelt Hotel.
Okay.
Yes.
It had to do with the bar. I had a former older relative that used to frequent there. Said you'd go on a couple times. But, the name of the bar related to the guy who made it like his base of operations. And this was a big federal investigation into, how you politely say, prostitution and white slavery. And the guy's name, that was kind of where he operated out of. And the bar's name was Big Daddy because his name, I hope you remember this, we're about the same age, Scott, Eddie Lee Big Daddy Davis. Do you remember that name?
Faintly, but I never frequented places like that.
No, I didn't either.
I just heard about them.
I read about it in the paper. It was a federal investigation into white slavery, and that's what where he operated on.
When did that Roosevelt Theater come down? Or Roosevelt Hotel come down?
I want to say the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, you know what? I vaguely...
I know it was about a 6-story hotel.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it.
Yeah. And right on the very corner where the
billboards
are right now.
Okay.
Yeah. But it came down once, but it was in the 60s, still there. But I remember the investigation took place. Ergo, he had the bar also. That's named Big Daddy's Blue Flame.
You're describing this pretty clearly, you know. You're describing this very clearly.
How many bar stools were there?
I don't know. I guess it's the kind of place if you went into, you better drink your beer out of the bottle.
Yeah. Okay.
Not the glass. So I just remember reading about it in the paper. I'm almost 65. I remember it was about front page news for a long time here in Kenosha.
No kidding.
The federal people were in here, and they got him. It's good. They got rid of him, but it's just he's passed away since then. But he still, as I remember, that's why the name was Big Daddy's Blue Flame, because that was the guy that kind of owned everything.
Yeah.
All right, great.
I'll be darned.
Thank you.
Got to run a break.
Care.
Thanks for the call. We're way behind time.
We're way behind. Listen, I'm going to scoot out of here. I'd like to say goodbye to everybody. I'll see you next Saturday. I'll for sure be here next Saturday.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition.
Human drama.
See?
Does that mean start?
See? That means go when I point at you.
That was the agony of defeat.
The agony of defeat.
If you just arrived on the trolley, this is the Kenosha Today Weekly Report coming to you live here on WLIP AM 1050. Brought to you by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, Casey Family Options, and a host of many other very fine businesses. I'm Uncle Scotty Barter, along with the big dog, little Stevie Casey, who just had to cut out a little bit early. Video coordinator, Captain Ron Muttersbuck, and the ever-alert Pistol Pete Surgeon joins us in our final 30 minutes.
More alert than you.
Yeah, I guess so. Head down the home stretch. This is we like to talk about sports. And here's the 3 sports topics today. Browns' Johnny Manziel checks himself into rehab.
Mm-hmm.
Packers' LaTroy Guion,
yeah.
he gets charged in felony charges, drug, firearm possession, 3/4 pound of marijuana, and a 9mm handgun.
That looked like more than 3/4 pound, allegedly.
And who was the other one here?
What I love is they charged him for the 87 cents in his car. Yeah.
And Warren Sapp was announcing the Super Bowl, one of the shows, and he gets arrested for prostitution. So
whoops.
There's
it was his blue light. There's our blue flame. Yeah.
There's our big sports story of the week.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, this Guion case, there are pictures circulating the day of everything they found in his car. The allegedly Guion. The drugs and I think it was $190,000 in cash.
Oh yeah.
But what's great about it is he must have had some change, and they counted the 87 cents of change as the money they found the car.
$190,000 of cash, 350 grams of marijuana.
Allegedly. Well, it's there, but they allegedly found it in his car. Yeah.
So one of the other big sports locally here is the voters are going to be able to vote on a referendum promoting $16.7 million of renovation for athletic facilities for Bradford, Tremper, Indian Trail, and that's going to go to the voters on April 7th.
Now, this is a binding referendum.
This is a binding referendum, and I don't know. My view is it's probably all too much at one time versus taking little segments like they did the last go around. But we'll see.
The big plum in there is the new Bradford football field, which is a pretty popular idea.
Yeah, if they can. April 7th, historically, there's the only thing on the ballot. There's 4 people running for 3 seats of the school board. Mm-hmm. And then this, and I don't know if there's anything else.
Well, there's not even there was for the city of Kenosha. Now, depends on where you live. There's not even a primary. I think would have been already. In fact, so we'll see what happens in April.
I want to get these 2 sponsors out of the way. This morning, if you thought the snow plowing was adequate, and when you get that much snow and you can remove it as quickly as you can, but then there's the big flap over this road repair between Summers and the city. And our good friend Patrick Giuliani was quoted, "I want to see the cash on the table." Boy, this guy, he must stay up at night and think of these things. But, this all stems back to the 104th Avenue project that we did last fall, Pete, and you were involved in that thing.
Well, yeah, because I was saying similar things back then with 104th. And don't get me wrong, I live on the side of town where that 27th and 28th Street is a rather a main artery to get east and west, and I haven't taken that street in years because it's deteriorated that much. So don't get me wrong, I want to see the roads done, but this was the problem with doing 104th Avenue before, to quote Pat, having the cash on the table, because Summers doesn't have the money. They say, we haven't even seen a bill, and so what do you want us to do?
Well, 104th Avenue, that was jammed through by the alderman of that district on the 17th district, as I recall. And everybody said at that time, if we don't have the money, we don't have an agreement, why are we doing this?
Right.
And I don't think 104th Avenue was nearly as bad as 27th Street between 39th and 30th. That's just horrendous. I don't go that way either. And, the fact remains is, how come where we live, 47th Avenue between Washington Road and 18th Street, this 27th Street, why does that in 104th Avenue, that little stretch there, why is that not in the city and still in Summers when they had these boundary agreements that was supposed to square everything off? Of course, the people on 27th Street probably don't want it because then they'd have to put in a new sewer, right? And then sidewalks and forget the culverts. So, but we've created all these little islands, and there's another one out by the CYC Park, I believe. So
just annex,
yeah. Take them. Don't give them a
We got to pay for it. Just do it.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Good morning.
Good morning. Who's this?
This is the original undocumented name withheld caller, and I just got. I want to be very brief. I just meant you're talking about street department fixes and whatnot.
Okay.
Has anyone stopped to consider what it's costing to maintain and regrade the various alleys around town that the city basically abandoned? These alleys are, if they're not closed, they have to constantly be, resurfaced, and they put the gravel down and whatnot. So what exactly are the numbers of cash that's being spent to maintain alleys that the city basically abandoned once they could just get one guy to run the garbage truck for those for particular neighborhoods? Now, not every, there's a lot of areas that never had alleys in the first place, but in certain areas there are a lot of alleys. And what I've been informed was that the street department has to pay that money to maintain alleys that have no purpose.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not sure how this works. For those people that have alleys, do they put their garbage back there or to the street?
No, that ended. That's why they abandoned. Basically, the city abandoned the alley, even though they have to maintain it to keep. They maintain it for some reason. But no, everyone has to put their trash to the curb.
Okay.
And I think this really kind of came about when they got those trucks where one guy drives the truck, stops, and gets out and picks up the garbage. That's all. It's something I'm interested in that because, some neighbors are for alley closure. There's a few instances where somebody's access to the garage is through that alley.
Yeah.
But there are several other alleys that really don't have any purpose. And since it's abandoned, then, sometimes you get creepy people driving through behind your house, and there's really no purpose for it. But there's a certain amount of money that's coming out of the street department to maintain abandoned alleys that could go for fixing the roads.
Do they plow those? Do they plow those alleys? Oh, he took off.
They plow the alleys as well, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, well, it doesn't make much sense to do the alley and
so not only are they're plowing alleys, and they have to. What happens is, of course, the grass grows to a certain point, and then in the summertime they'll come in with a bulldozer or whatever, level it down to ground, and then re-gravel the alley.
Yeah.
And there's a few instances where people do have to get in, to their garage that way, but there's a whole bunch of these that there's no point in the alley. Period. I mean, and in some places, if the house is on a hill, they couldn't even access that property because if they close the alley, the property owner gets half of the alley, and there'll be a slight increase in their taxes because they've gotten this little bit of extra land.
Yeah.
And if you ride around some neighborhoods, you see they put fences, and some people took advantage of the other 2 feet. On hilly areas, which is kind of predominant around 39th Avenue and a little bit east, it's very hilly, so the alley would never really even be able to be any kind of use to the homeowner.
You're right. Okay.
So I think that's something that needs to be looked at because we've got enough alleys that have no purpose in the city. They're abandoned, and they're taking money from the street department funds to keep these alleys up for what?
You're absolutely right.
So just
all right, we'll pass it on. Thank you for your comments. Name withheld.
Right,
I always like that name withheld.
Name withheld?
See, here, you don't have to tell us your name. We don't care.
Yeah.
You're on alley patrol.
Yeah, you're on alley patrol.
I guess I'm on alley patrol.
No, but he's got a good point there. And a lot of that money that could go there could go to the downtown area and help the merchants. So, good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Yes. Did somebody say downtown help the merchants? Hey, this is Mike Bjorn. I think that last caller should be in show business. That guy really sounded intelligent.
Well, he's not on the city council, obviously.
No, I know who he is, but he wants to be incognito.
Okay, that's
today.
fine. We don't care.
Hey, listen, if people are out running around today, it's a beautiful day. It's almost balmy outside. But take a drive downtown, check out the old Wells manufacturing building. They're tearing it down, and it's starting to go quicker and quicker. A lot of old memories in there for a lot of people. But anyhow, also, when you're going past the former site of Walgreens, when I went by this morning, there were cars, because they were parking 2 or 3 feet away from the snowbanks, that were literally almost where the trolley would be half into the trolley tracks. In other words, it wasn't that the trolley would miss them by a foot. It was that the cars were actually where the tracks would be. Yeah. So I just suggest that, okay, if January, February, March, we don't use the streetcar a lot, what happens if we have an early snowstorm, say in October, November, December, which we do quite often. So I think it's going to be very, very challenging.
It's not that we're against the trolley. It's, the trolley could, it could be, especially on down 6th Avenue there.
Whether people are for or against the extension, the street is 40 feet wide.
Yes, I see that.
You add the snow to that and anything else, you have problems. It's just a given. It's nobody making it up. It's an undeniable fact.
But look at it this way, Mike. Now, the city has said, at least they did some time back, that they will come and remove the snow on 6th Avenue and so that the trolley can get in because they've guaranteed that nobody's going to miss any parking. Life goes on pretty good, huh?
Well, I don't envy them that job because I can only imagine when you have snowstorms like this that ordinarily, I suspect right now that what we have down here, and there'll be more coming the rest of the month, and I'm assuming in March too, as usual, it finally leaves us about the 3rd or 4th week of April. It finally melts. And I'm from Missouri. Show me. I want to see how this works out. You would think there'd be some practice runs during a big snowstorm like we had over the last week, just to see how easy it is or how much time it's going to take to get rid of this stuff. Because it's going to be a biggie. Hey, sorry, I got a store full of people, but I got to say goodbye.
Okay, thanks for the call.
Bye-bye. Yep.
Like the one caller said, they used to do this years ago. They used to have one of those big snowblower things, put it in the trucks. They're out here in a couple hours. And, you can't block off the street. But I think the trolley, for it to be successful, and I believe they have to ride this trolley or make this thing work a year round to get this grant money, from what I understand. But we also were talking, if you have another call, we've got a few minutes left, 262-694-1050. All of this business with the Southport roof, I just, $275,000 and they wanted $709,000. Pete, what am I missing here? Is this?
Well,
what are we talking about?
This was actually the longest discussion in Monday City Council meeting. So, knowing that there is the historic preservation group that wants an entirely slate roof, which would be original to the building, that's a little bit cost prohibitive. So the city went to some state commission that deals with historic buildings and says, well, do slate to the west where people drive by, and do the asphalt to the east where it faces the lake, and
nobody would ever notice
it. And that is still over $300,000 to do it, but at least it would be done and it would preserve the building. But again, you have some people with very strong opinions saying it should be all slate, and they want a particular person. I think it was an $800 fee that they raised privately to get this person there to examine the building, and then
they didn't pay this group didn't pay the $800.
Well, I thought they had gotten private people to pay it, or they said they would.
Were going to, and I'm thinking, go ahead.
Okay.
Get it.
So anyway, they make a long story short, because I know we have a caller. They decided to defer it for 6 weeks to explore any other potential opportunities.
Give me a chance to call in an airstrike.
Yeah.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Okay.
So, but anyway, we'll see if they get this other person in and they get this checked out, and it's.
That just seems like an awful god. You know what was it? $160,000 to pay the 104th Avenue thing.
Mm-hmm.
We've got money budgeted. Let's take care of that crisis first. And this just seems like a lot of money to do. About a whole lot of.
And I think it was Alderman Wicklund who pointed out that the current roof is already failing to the point where moisture is coming underneath. It's not leaking inside yet, but it is coming between the tiles. So, would 6 weeks be detrimental to the we'll have to see. Probably not. But
give me time to call in an airstrike.
Well, right. I mean,
like I said, Valentine's Day is next week, and Kenosha News is running their contest for Kenosha's cutest couple, and Steve and I want you to. I think you can vote online here. You can get us. You can get a photo of us on the Kenosha Today Facebook page and submit something out down there, and we're taking on Wicklund and Kennedy. Yeah. Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.